drilling into the skulls and injecting chemicals into their brains. Jeffrey Dahmer, the monster next door. There are killers who hide in shadows, and then there are those who live among us. But the story didn't begin there. It began years earlier with a boy who seemed normal. Jeffrey Dahmer was born on May 21, 1960 in Milwaukee and raised in Bath Township. At first, nothing stood out, but as he grew older, something dark began to surface. He became obsessed, not with life, but with what remained after it. Dead animals, bones, decay. He collected roadkill, dissolved flesh in chemicals, and kept the skeletons. To others, it was disturbing. To him, it was fascinating. In 1978, just weeks after graduating high school, Dahmer committed his first murder. The victim was 18 years old Stephen Hicks. He picked him up while hitchhiking. What started as a simple invitation just to hang out quickly turned deadly. When Hicks tried to leave, Dahmer panicked. He struck him. He killed him. Then came something even darker. He didn't report it. He didn't run. He stayed and began to experiment with death. For years, Dahmer drifted. He joined the army, lived in different cities, struggled with alcohol, but the urges never left. They grew stronger. By the late 1980s, in Milwaukee, the killings began again. This time, they wouldn't stop. Dahmer targeted mostly young men. Many were vulnerable. Some were strangers. Others trusted him. He would lure them back to his apartment, offering money, drinks, or simply companionship. But once inside, there was no escape. Dahmer didn't just kill. He wanted control, total control. He drugged his victims, ensuring they couldn't resist. He attempted to create what he called living zombies, drilling into skulls and injecting chemicals into their brains. Most of his victims died during these experiments, and then he kept them. Photographs, body parts, remains stored in his apartment. The smell became unbearable. Neighbors complained, but no one imagined the truth. On July 22, 1991, everything fell apart. One victim, Tracy Edwards, managed to escape. Handcuffed, terrified, he ran into the street and found police. He led them back to Dahmer's apartment. At first, it seemed like a misunderstanding, but when officers opened a drawer, they found photographs, graphic, horrifying, real. Moments later, they discovered human remains inside the refrigerator, inside barrels, inside the walls of the apartment. Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested on the spot, calm, quiet, almost emotionless, as if the nightmare had already ended for him, but was just beginning for everyone else. Investigators uncovered the full truth: 17 victims, years of killing, acts so disturbing they shocked even seasoned detectives. The case became one of the most infamous in American history. In 1992, Dahmer stood trial. He pleaded guilty, but insane. The court didn't agree. He was found legally sane and sentenced to multiple life terms in prison, no chance of release. But the story didn't end there. In 1994, inside a prison in Portage, Dahmer was attacked by another inmate. He died from his injuries. Just like that, one of the most terrifying killers in history was gone. The name Jeffrey Dahmer still sends chills through people today, not just because of what he did, but because of how he lived. Quiet, invisible, ordinary. A reminder that sometimes evil doesn't look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like the person next door.